all the books that I have read to get out of a reading slump, and I explained how I didn't really like the first 2 books in this series, and then I hope that this book does exceed my expectation. This is The King of Warts, and it's by Huang. So I'm gonna read the back, and yeah. So it says, she was my North Star, the brightest jewel in my sky. Ruthless, malicious, arrogant. Billionaire CEO Dante Russo thrives on control. They love this series, not just the book, but they really love this series, and that they love Lauren Asher's book. So, well, books, because she wrote multiple books, but they love Lauren Asher's books, so I want to get into more of her books. So I do have the full series of this. I got the full series for Christmas last year, so I want more books recommendations y'all have for her. I know I have some on my TBR, so if y'all welcome to my YouTube channel, Dajah Nicole. So in today's video, I will be showing y'all my June TBR. So I have planned to read about 3 to 4 books on my Kindle and about 5 to 6, maybe 7 books on my physical TBR. So yeah, but if you have noticed, this is like the 3rd monthly TBR video I have done on my channel since 2025. Yeah, because I did one for January, but that was December, or was it the beginning of January? I don't remember, but it's been a while since I did one of these videos because your girl has been stressed, your girl has been unmotivated, your girl has been depressed, your girl has been dealing with a lot of bullshit. But I came back from the trenches, had a little me moment in me time, rested, and we are here. So these are all the books I'm going to read this month. It is June 5th, but I think I'm going to read a lot of books this month, not just on my TBR, but these are the books that I want to get to this month. But I am planning to do a lot of reading videos, like doing the 24-hour reading challenge, and I probably will read from my TBR, and then doing swapping screen time for how much I read a week. So there's going to be some reading videos here and there in June for this month, and also reading vlogs as well. So I'll be doing a lot of reading, and plus if I can't go to sleep, I like to read on my Kindle. Plus I have one of those like little book lamps, like you put on like your book and it just like lights up and you can read. So yeah, but before I start today's video, besties, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments down below. And if you have any book recommendations for me, also let me know down in the comments down below. And let's just get into this video. So I had to go to my Goodreads because I already put the books on my Kindle as marked as read, or marked as reading. I should say not read, but marked as reading, because my Kindle is connected to my Goodreads account. So I'm letting you know what I'm reading on my Kindle. So look at my Kindle stickers. I got these off of Amazon, and then my little Sun Angel hipster. But the first book I am going to read this month is Part of Your World, and this is part of Your World series by Jimenez. So I wanted to read this maybe some point mid last year, but I just never got into it. So I am going to get into it this month. So the story takes place in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm trying to go. So the book is about, this is just a book description that I'm reading off of Goodreads, but it is after a wild bed gourmet grilled cheese sandwich and cuddle with a baby goat, Alexis Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The cause? Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her, and as casually as they come, as casual, not casually, but as casual as they come, the complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis, and yet their chemistry is undeniable. While her ultra-wealthy parents want her to carry on the family legacy of world-renowned surgeons, Alexis doesn't need the glory or the fame. She is fine with becoming a mere ER doctor, and every minute she spends with Daniel in the tight-knit town where he lives, she's discovering just that she's discovering just what's really important. Yet letting their relationship become anything more than a short-term fling would mean turning her back on her family and giving up the opportunity to help thousands of people. Bringing Daniel into her world is impossible. And yet she can't give up the joy she found with him either. With so many differences between them, how can Alexis possibly choose between her and his? So that's the little book description on Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I love Abby Jimenez books. Well, I only read like one book, which is Just for the Summer, but I really love her writing style when I read that book, so I think I'm really going to love this book as well. And I have the second book of this series on my Kindle too, so I'll probably read it like maybe next month or August, I don't know, or if I finish it and I finish all my TBRs and the different reading vlogs that I'm doing this month, then I will read it too. So yeah, so the next book that's on my Kindle that I want to read is Bridesmaid Undercover by Meghan Quinn. So I love Meghan Quinn books. I read the Bridesmaid for Hire, which was a funny book, and then I read a book which is a Christmas book called The Christmas Fix, which was a good book too. So I know I'm going to like this book because I did love Bridesmaid for Hire. I was about to say Undercover, but Bridesmaid for Hire. So this book is about Emily Plum is delighted to be heading up the Bridesmaid for Hire program at Magical Moment by Maggie. And when Hardy Hopper, one of their billionaire investors, approaches Everly for help with his friend's wedding, she's more than happy to step in, but Hardy has an extra assignment for her. His ex-girlfriend would be the maid of honor opposite his role as best man, and he wants Everly help getting her back. There's only one problem. Everly may have a tiny crush on the dashing businessman, but despite the way Hardy makes her stomach flutter, she's determined to prove herself both as a bridesmaid and a matchmaker. That is, until she finds her crush turning into real feelings. Not to mention, Hardy cannot help to notice how well he clicks with Everly, and before he knows it, he's not looking for his ex's attention anymore. But even after their simmering attraction finally rises to the surface, they will have to contend the meddling friends, poor timing, and professional boundaries, and the risk that no one might get a second chance at all. So yeah, and this book on Goodreads has an estimate of 4.06 stars, so it's about a 4-star rating. A lot of people have rated about 4 stars. Like I said, I love Meghan Quinn. I have read 2 of her books, so I know I'm gonna like this book as well, so I cannot wait to read it. So another book and the last book that I'm going to read on my Kindle, because I read the first book of this series. So the next book that I'm going to read in the month of June is 1,000 Broken Pieces by Tillie Cole. So I just finished reading 1,000 Kisses by her, and I gave that book a 4-star rating because one was good. Yes, it was a slow read for me, and it was hard for me to get into it first, but once I continued to read it, I liked it and I enjoyed it, and it also made me shed a few tears. So I went to read 1,000 Broken Pieces, and this month been waiting months later to read it. So this book is about 3 years, 12 months, a timeless grief after losing her beloved sister 3 years ago. Savannah Litchfield has been living half of her life, now 17, the age Poppy died. The pain of losing her is the worst than ever. When Savannah therapist suggested a trip around the world to help teens stricken by loss, she reluctantly agrees to it, clutching the unread journal Poppy left her as she goes. So Poppy is her sister, and Poppy was in the first kisses, not first kisses, but was in the first book, 1,000 Kisses. So I like how both of these books ties together. Not 1,000 Kisses, but 1,000 Boy Kisses. But Poppy is in the 1,000 Boy Kisses, and she's the main character for that. So yes, and she does die, and I cried when she died. But back to the description for this. Where was I? When Savannah therapist suggested a trip around the world to help teens stricken by loss, she reluctantly agrees to it, clutching the unread journals Poppy left her as she goes. Carl Woods is angry. 1 year after losing his older brother, the person who meant the world to him, his life was spiraled into a heady void of nothing. Once the most promising hockey player in the junior league, Kel can no longer step onto the ice without being paralyzed by memories of his brother. When his parents signed him up for a trip abroad for grieving teens, no part of him wants to go, but he does. As Carl and Savannah embark on a journey of healing, they learn to find solace together, discovering a glimmer of light only the others can bring. And the harder they fall, the more they heal the fractured fragments of their hearts, piece by broken pieces. So yeah, I might cry reading this book too, but that's the third book I want to read on my Kindle. But yeah, but let's just get into my physical TBR. So this is my physical TBR. It is 6 books, and I think I can read 6 of these books. For someone who got out of a reading slump lately and find the enjoyment of reading and had to hold onto her and hold her urge to not read anything on her TBR until she did this video, yes, I'm that type of person. But let's just get into my physical TBR. So one of the books that I've been reading this month is called Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is part of the Once Upon a, I forgot what was the series name, but it is, I think it's called Once Upon a Heart series or Broken Heart series. But I have heard this book, or just this whole series, and this author all over Book Talk, mostly on BookTube. Actually, when I was watching something on YouTube earlier, I heard someone talking about this book and how they like this series, but for some people you have to read another series from the same author first to really get into this book. But I don't have that series, and I have this series, so I'm going to read this series. But this is called Once Upon a Broken Heart. So I'm going to read the little insert that they have, the description that they have on the flap of the book right here. How far would you go for happily ever after? For as long as she can remember, Evelyn Fox has believed in true love and happy endings until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. Ooh, oh, I know that will hurt. Desperate to stop the wedding and to heal her wounded heart, Evelyn strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evelyn's first promised kiss, she learns that bargaining with an immortal is dangerous. Is a dangerous game, and that the Prince of Heart wants far more from her than she pledges. He has plans for Evelyn, plans that will either end in the greatness happily ever after or the most exquisite tragedy. So I cannot wait. I think I want to start reading this book tonight because I do want to read for a while tonight on both my physical TBR and my Kindle. So I think this is going to be the first book I'm going to read in my physical TBR. But let's just get back on track, okay? But that sounds, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I just love how it's like a black and rose gold type color palette for the cover. I just love it. But I can't wait to do my June wrap up video so I can tell y'all. And I think I won't be doing a July TBR video. I will actually have y'all choosing my TBR because July is also my birthday month. So I might have y'all do that, but I'm still in the works of that. But this, I can't wait to read. I can't. Now, the next book that I want to read in the month of June is called First Time Caller by DK Borison. So I follow her on Instagram, and I know the second book, because this is part of a series, but the second book of this is coming out early next year. So I wanted to read this book in June in the first place, and when I saw on Instagram that she is going to release the second book early next year, I was like, yes, a good thing I'm reading this in the first book in the month of June, because then I don't feel behind in series. Because yeah, but this is called The First Time Caller. I got this one book of the month. As you can see, the little book of the month label. So on the cover it says welcome to Heartstrings Baltimore Romance Hotline, and the book is about a hopeless romantic meets a demoralized radio host in this cozy, sleepless, and Seattle-inspired love story. So Aiden Valentine has a secret. He's fallen out of love with love. As the host of Baltimore Romance Hotline, that's a bit of a problem. But when a young girl calls into the station asking for dating advice for her mom, the interview goes viral, thrusting Aiden and Heartstrings into limelight. Lucy Stone, thought she was doing just fine. She has a good job, an incredible family, and a smart, slightly devious kid. But when all of Baltimore is suddenly scrutinizing her love life, or lack of thereof, she begins to question if she's happy as she believed. Maybe a little more romance wouldn't be such a bad thing. Everyone wants Lucy to find her happy ending, even the handsome, temperamental man calling the shots. But when the sparks to fly behind the scene, Lucy must make the final decision between the radio sponsor Happily Ever After or the man and the headphones next to her. So I can't wait to read this. I love the color scheme of the book cover. It's pink and yellow. It's giving romance. And I can't wait to read. So the next book I will be reading in the month of June this month is called Daydream. It's part of the Maple Hill series by Hannah Grace. Hopefully I will give this book a more higher star ratings than I did with the other two. I was just doing a video of me just rating all the books that I have read to get out of a reading slump, and I explained how I didn't really like the first two books in this series, and that I hope that this book does exceed my expectations. Plus, I actually hear that this book is actually way better than the other 2 books in the series. So I'm gonna read the back. It says, he's the one she's dreaming of. When his procrastination lands him in a difficult class with his least favorite professor, Henry Turner knows he's going to have to work extra hard to survive his junior year of college. And now his new role as captain of the hockey team, Henry absolutely cannot fail. Enter Hal Jacobs, a fellow junior whom Henry befriends when he accidentally crashes her book club. Haley, I said Henry, did I did. Are we going to reread that? Hold up. I'm going to reread that. Hold up. So it says, when his procrastination lands him in difficult class with his least favorite professor, Henry Turner knows he's going to work extra hard to survive his junior year of college. And now with his new role as captain of the hockey team, Henry absolutely cannot fail. Enter Haley Jacobs, a fellow junior whom Henry befriends when he accidentally crashes her book club. Haley may not have the romantic pursuits of her favorite fictional leads or experiences for the novel she's trying to write, but she's an academic superstar. As soon as she hears about Henry's problem with this class, she offers to help. She knows the new experiences are the key to beating her self-doubt, and Henry promised to be the one to give them to her. They just need to stick to the rule book where items 4 reads don't fall in love. So this is the cover. I don't know if I can see it, but that's what it says on the back. My asthma is bothering me, and I'm just like, ugh. And I don't know. I'm just, do I want to, I gotta like record something else after this, and after that, and after that, and I'm like, should I just move one of them tomorrow, because it's longer and I can do it in the afternoon. And I might do that. I might do that because I just want to do something, a project in my room, and I might just do that. So yeah, but let's just continue to get into the video. I was just rambling for a bit. The next book that I will be reading in this month is called The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is part of the Dreamland Billionaire series, and this is the first book of the Dreamland Billionaire series. So it says, Rowan, I am in business of creating fairy tales, production companies, 5-star hotels, theme parks, everything can be mine. If I renovate Dreamland, hiring Zara was a great plan until I fell for her. By the time I realized where I went wrong, it was too late. People like me don't get happy endings, not when we're destined to ruin them. So, damn. Damn, Rowan. You just gonna put yourself down like that? But before I continue to read about, I have heard a lot of people say they really love this series, not just the book, but they really love this series, and that they love Lauren Asher's book. So, well, books, because she wrote multiple books, but they love Lauren Asher books. So I want to get into more of her books. So I do have the full series of this. I got the full series for Christmas last year. So I want more books recommendations y'all have for her. I know I have some on my TBR, so if y'all want me to like put my Amazon wish list down there, I can, but my Goodreads are always in my description box down below, but I never really update it like that for like what I want to read. But yeah. And then Zara. After submitting a junk proposal criticizing Dreamland's most expensive ride, I should have been fired. Instead, Rowan Kane offered me a dream job. The catch: I had to work for the most difficult boss I ever met. Rowan was rude and completely off limits, but my heart didn't care, at least not until I discovered his secret. It was time to teach the billionaires that money couldn't fix everything, especially not us. I think this would be a quick read. I really think this would be a quick read for me, because just reading from both point of views on the back, I will definitely get through this book. So the second to last book in my June TBR is King of Worth. This is part of the King of Sin series. This is the first book in the series, and I want to thank a good friend of mine for buying this series because I told myself I was on a book buying ban when I got this series. The only time I'm not on a book buying ban is when I get the book of the month books, because technically it's free when you get like a book for a credit, and you only have to pay for like the monthly subscription, but that's about it. So yeah, that's girl math. But anyways, this is King of Worth. This is the first book of the King of Sin series. This is by Huang. I love Huang. I am in the middle of Twisted series. I'm actually going to read the third book in this month too, which I'm going to talk about in a few. I want to get the other book, Strikers. I think that's the title. I would love to get that for my birthday and read that before. And actually no, because I think the other book for that series is coming out soon. So read that book, get that book and read it too. So yeah, but anyways, this is the King of Worth and it's by Huang. So I'm going to read the back, and yeah. So it says, she was my North Star, the brightest jewel in my sky. Ruthless, malicious, arrogant. Billionaire CEO Dajah Russo thrives on control, both personally and professionally. He never planned to marry until the threat of blackmail forces him to an engagement with a woman he barely knows. Vivian Lau, jewelry heiress and daughter of his newest enemy, the wife he never wanted, the weakest he never saw coming. The weakness he never saw coming. It doesn't matter how beautiful or charming she is. Dante will do everything in his power to destroy the blackmail and their brothel. There's only one problem. Now that he has her, he can't bring himself to let her go. So the last book that is on my June TBR, and hopefully I will get to read this because this is kind of a thick book, is Twisted Hate by the same author of King of Worth, Huang. So this is part of the Twisted series, which is a 4-book series. So I'm going to read the back and then I'm going to ask y'all a little question. So the possibility of you is better than the reality of anyone else. Gorgeous, cocky, and fast on his way to becoming the hotshot doctor, Josh Chin has never met a woman he couldn't charm except for Jules Ambrose. The beautiful redhead has been a thorn in his side since they met, but she also consumed his thoughts in a way no woman ever has. When their animosity exploded into an unforgettable night, he proposes a solution that get her out of his system once and for all. Damn, he wants her out of his system once for all and all. Dang, once for all. That is kind of like, okay. An enemies with benefits arrangement with simple rules: no jealousies, no strings attached, and absolutely no falling in love. Outgoing and ambitious, Jules Ambrose is a former party girl who focuses on one thing: passing the attorney bar exam. The last thing she needs is to get involved with a doctor who puts the suffering in insufferable, no matter how good looking he is. But the more she gets to know him, the more she realizes there's more than meets the eye. To the man she hated for so long, her best friend brother, her Jimenez, and her only salvation. There is a match made in hell. And when demons from their past catch up with them, they face with truth that could either save them or destroy them. So I can't wait to read this. This is actually thicker than the first 2 books, and looking at my book cart, which I'm going to be reading, this one and the last book are very thick than the first 2 books in the series. So yeah, but before I close on today's video, question: do y'all like the Twisted series or the King of Sin series. I really need to know which series you like best. My friend who recommended me to get the King of Sin series, so she likes the King of Sin series better than Twisted. But I want your opinion. Which series do y'all like? I can't really tell y'all which series that I like because this is just me reading the third book of the Twisted series, and then this is the first book of the King of Sin series. So yeah, I can't really like give y'all my opinions on that. Am I planning to do a YouTube video and maybe a TikTok, so the shorter version of it, of me rating each series that I have read? Yes. Do I know when? No. It's gonna be a while. So let me know which series y'all like the most, and let me know down in the comments. Okay, besties? Okay. So these are all the books I will be reading in the month of June, this month, besties. And I cannot wait to read each and every book that I have chose for my June TBR. If you have read any of these books that I'm showing right now, please let me know down in the comments down below. And if you have any book recommendations that you want me to read or buy and eventually read, please let me know down in the comments down below. You can follow me on my social medias. All that will be in the description box down below. My Goodreads is always in the description box down below if you want to become friends on there. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And to remember to always follow your goals no matter what. I will see y'all in the next video, besties. And bye. And I love you guys. And see y'all next time. Bye.